This is Lecture 2, which covers Chapter 2, Research Analysis. First, what we're going to start out looking at is some basic terminology that you need to know. These are also make great test questions. So the first thing that we're going to look at, these are all different things that you're going to have to be able to, you're going to write all these up in your paper, but you're also going to have to be able to find all of these different things in articles. So the first thing we're going to look at is the title. And in the title, you should identify the key terms or phrases. And so your title should tell someone what it is going on and what they're about to read. So the key thing for you to remember when you write your title is that your key terms should be in your title. And that also, you can think of that when you're doing your literature review search, which you'll learn how to do, that if you put in key terms, then articles should pull up because authors should have put those key words or key terms in their title. Next is your keywords. And your keywords, they're usually after your abstract, you'll have to write out your keywords, and they're just the main things that you're talking about. So for y'all's, you'll be dealing with the generational cohort of Generation Y, so that will be one of your keywords. You'll do something that will have to do with retail or apparel, so that'll be your second keyword. And then your third one will be something that you choose. Looking at the purpose, this is the first thing stated as your purpose, and it's your goal or objective of the research. And when you're looking for the purpose in an article, it will say, the purpose of the study is. So, or the purpose is to. So you'll be able to find the purpose because it will say the purpose. And a lot of times the purpose is listed in the abstract, so it's real easy to find there too. Next is hypothesis. And you can use a hypothesis or you can use research questions for our studies. But if it's a hypothesis, it'll be really easy because it usually says H1, H2, and it'll tell you, because you'll either accept or reject your hypothesis, so it's real easy to find within an article. But a lot of you will probably just use a research question because that's a lot easier than a hypothesis. Next is definitions. And definitions you'll usually define your key terms throughout your paper. And if the key terms are not defined, then you can use an online dictionary, or you can come up with your own definition for each key term. And the reason that we do definitions, remember what we talked about in Lecture 1, that sometimes constructs or concepts can mean more than one thing. So dress can either be a dress that women wear, or it can be what anyone wears. So that's why we have to define different things, because once again, we want everyone to follow. Like if someone wanted to try to do your research study, they would need to be able to work step by step and understand each piece and know exactly what you're talking about. Next is the review of literature, and this is where you discuss the key terms or the main topics based on the articles you found. So really the review of literature is where you take, okay, here's what I want to study, and this is what other people have done that I found. This is what they've done that's similar to what I want to do. And you want to give the results of what they found. Next is the methods of conducting research. And methods would be like filling out an internet survey on Qualtrics, which is what we will be using. It would be an intercept survey where you hand out surveys, which you can also do. It would be an observation, like we're going to do in our mini observation. And it can also be experimental research. So an example of a method of conducting research would be looking at the effects of music in a retail setting on real and perceived shopping times. And in the study, subjects thought that they shopped longer in music that they knew. So if they were shopping in a store and they knew the music, they thought, and they were supposed to determine how long they shopped, they thought they shopped longer if they knew the music. But in reality, shoppers shopped longer in music they didn't know. Also, atmospherics in a store can affect what people like. So you could look at two different types of ethnicities and see if one ethnicity likes certain colors more than another ethnicity. So those are just some different methods of conducting research. Next is results. And results is where you tell us what did your subject say and what did they think. So what did you find out is what results are. And that's where you put all your numbers, like percentages, everything will be in there. Next is conclusions. And that's the so what factor. Conclusions is where you're going to say how these results, how can they impact someone, or what do these conclusions mean to retailers is what you're trying to find out. And then implications, and this is what is best for the customers or subjects to help the retailer. So implications is say, well, because we found this is what the retailer should do. And then recommendations for further study this is where you say, if I was going to do the study again, what changes would you make to make your study better? Or would you use a different theory? So that's what recommendations for further study are. Now we're going to look at some different statistical tests that can be used, and these are measurement scales to analyze data that you collect for quantitative research. And so make sure that you pay attention to these because these have a potential to be on your exam. So the first one that we're going to take a look at will be nominal scale. And nominal scales is a measure of identity, and it's not numeric. So it would be name, age, color. So an example of this in retailing would be different washes of jeans would be classified as 1, acid wash, 2, stone wash, 3, garment dyed. And this is considered not numeric because you're only giving numbers to it to be able to run simple statistics. So you can find the proportion or the percentage of subjects that liked acid wash or stone wash. So within this numbering system, there's no order, and not one is not greater than the other in importance, but it's simply a division of the characteristics in mutually exclusive subclasses. So another example would be dividing people by eye color. And so one eye color is not greater than another eye color in importance. Next is the ordinal scale, and it's a rank order of individuals or objects. So an example would be people with the most education come first, PhD students, then master's students, or a rank order in race or grade. And it's shown numerically, or for an item would be clothing, and it's shown numerically. This is an arranged order, but you cannot tell the exact differences among categories. You can run the median and the rank correlation coefficients for the ordinal scale, and however, nothing says that there's a difference in rank between a master's and a PhD student, but you could tell who is the closest to graduation based on the number of hours completed. Another example of an ordinal scale would be the ranking of girls' clothes from size 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, from lowest to highest. So within this ranking, you can see which is the lowest size, which is the highest size, but nothing says there's a difference in rank between an 8 and a 12. Other units of comparison that you can use with the ordinal scale would be heavier to lighter, brighter to duller, and increases or decreases, and allows for comparison of financial data. Typical tests that are used with ordinal scales are the median, the sentinels, and the rank correlation. Next scale is the interval scale, and it reflects differences among items, and the measurement units are equal amounts or distances, unlike the ordinal scale, but they have no true 0 point. And you can find the mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation, and the product movement correlation coefficient for this. And when an example of this is when you look at temperature scale and you look at a 0 degrees Fahrenheit does not mean no heat at all. But there is exact amount of difference between 1 degrees and 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Next is the ratio scale, and it has an absolute zero, meaning when you're at zero, there's nothing. And meaningful relationships can be compared among items or variables. An example of the ratio scale would be a person's weight. If a person weighed 0, that would mean they don't weigh anything at all. And with the ratio scale, you can pretty much run any statistical tests that you would want to run with it. If we look at qualitative research analysis, this is where you take the research question and you investigate it without a preconceived hypothesis. And if you think you'll find one thing, you can word your question to make them answer that way, and then your research is biased. So you have to start with no preconceived notions of what the results will be, because then you can miss out on insights that are more beneficial than validating your preconceived notions. So really, qualitative research analysis is total opposite of quantitative research analysis. And here's the steps that you would go through for analyzing qualitative research, but we will not be doing qualitative research, so you do not have to know those steps.